Hey, what's happening? It's showtime. 6:30, Monday night, Steve Square Show, Columbus Day, October 14th. Where else would you be? Pardon me, I'm a little bit of a shamble. I'm a little bit of a mess today. It's just another manic Monday, as the Bengals say. I need to shave. I'm thinking I'm growing something, but I'm not sure what it is. I can't really grow a good beard or a good stubble like those chiseled actors do. Mine just comes in kind of gruffy and patchy. How y'all doing? Did you have a nice weekend? Boy, it's a little chilly out there. It's a little windy. There's a little bit of a wind out there tonight. So maybe even hoodie weather. I'm sure everybody it was a beautiful weekend. Everybody was probably out picking pumpkins. I say this every weekend in October, right? Doing that Long Island thing. Getting your pumpkins ready. Of course, you made your stop at Party City. Got your dollar little toys and things for the holiday season, for the Halloween season. Strings of pumpkins for $1, right? You got the coupons from Party City. Little cardboard cutouts of skeletons to put on your lawn. Some people go crazy. I see some lawns. I drive around the neighborhood, boy. Some people go all out. If they would just put that same effort into their family or into their job or career, then we'd be then we'd be flourishing. Long Island would be we'd be on the map, man. We're never on the map for good things. And I'll tell you a lot of them coming up. But let's start off with something good. I always start off with something negative. Why don't we start off with something good? Speaking of pumpkins, look at this guy. You shouldn't be this happy. Nobody should be this happy. I don't care who you are. Maybe if you're like Brad Pitt. Other than that, you should not be this happy if you're just a guy living on Long Island. This guy, look at what he's standing on. Look at the size of that pumpkin. And yes, that is a real pumpkin. This guy won this year's pumpkin biggest, largest pumpkin contest. This pumpkin weighs in at 1,339 pounds. You heard me correctly. 1,339 pounds. That's a giant pumpkin. That's a lot of pumpkin seeds. Boy, imagine carving that. Put that in your front window. Make that a jack-o'-lantern. Put the candle in. And let's see what happens. So he was very excited. No doubt. Look, what's this guy's name? He's the champion. And let's get his name correct. Scott Armstrong. Boy, I'll tell you, if you have the name Armstrong, you're set. Something great is going to happen in your life. You got Neil Armstrong, right? Lands on the moon. You got this guy, Scott Armstrong, 1,000-pound pumpkin. I mean, they start off, it's like starting off with a silver spoon in your mouth. You're way ahead of everybody else. It's like being born into royalty when you have that name Armstrong. It's just, right? It stands for strength and power, achievement. I wonder what I gotta see what my name stands for. Steve Square Show. So anyway, this guy, let's dig a little deeper, as I like to say. He was very excited. He was a little disappointed, though. This was at the Hicks, I'm sorry, not Wix. Wix is who's actually hosting this website that you're watching. Hicks is the nursery. I've been to Hicks. So, and these are the type of people that go there. Only 4 people entered a contest, so he felt a little but he would have won anyway. I mean, come on. There's this guy, and his dad came in 3rd place. That's nice. This girl, let's show a picture of her. She won for the kids contest. Right there, you see? She had a little 4-pound pumpkin. That's nice. Let's give her a shout out. Catalina Avina, 6 years old, of West Islip, already in the pumpkin game. She's already trying to work the pumpkin game. Good for her. She's got a 4-pound pumpkin, and she won. Her parents couldn't give her a bigger pumpkin. I'm sure she didn't grow that. You know what you do? You go over to Stop and Shop. You can buy a 1,000-pound pumpkin. Wow. And I don't know how he got this here. He must have had to get it in with a back it in with a truck or whatever. It says here he sells real estate. There was a woman that competed in the contest. She said she educated herself about pumpkin growing. I know they have tomato growing contests. They have a lot of these things, and they're pretty good. It says what it takes to grow a large pumpkin. So let's say you say, how do I grow something that big? Do you just plant the pumpkin seed? No. Armstrong said it's not that easy. It requires the right seeds. He grows the Atlantic Giant variety. The Atlantic Giant variety seeds. So you got to get those first of all. Plenty of water. He practices wiping the fruit with a bleach solution, and it prevents disease, rotting. I think we should have these pumpkins tested first of all. There has to be there's some growth hormone going on right here. I'll blow the whole lid off this pumpkin game. Forget Scott Armstrong. You're celebrating tonight. You're on the top of the mountain. You're king of the pumpkins. I will bring you down. I'm a journalist at heart. I look for stories like this to bring people like you that think you've caught over on the rest of us with your giant pumpkin. I will get you, Scott Armstrong. I will bring you down, my friend, right down to Chinatown with your oversized, steroid-filled pumpkin. That's what I think of you. I turned a nice story, a feel-good moment into whatever. So I had a run. I'm getting closer to the race, November 9th, as you know, and had a good run this weekend. I felt good, was out on the path, and then the next day I did a bike, ran on Saturday, biked on Sunday, felt pretty good, felt loose, felt like I had it going on, and I gotten out there, getting the mileage up, so hopefully, we'll see if we can do this. It's been a while since I've entered a race. Since I've been chased several times, but I'm talking about something where it's where you get a bib and it's organized. So this should be lots of. I don't know if it'll be lots of fun. It's never fun when you feel like your side is starting to close in on you and you're getting that cramp, and you can't feel your quads, your thighs. They start filling up with that tightness. It's all of that lactic acid that's building up in your legs, and you're running and you can't feel your legs anymore. So I'm not sure. I wouldn't say it's fun, but it's a challenge. And you know me, I like a challenge. That's why I host the show with Steve sometimes. It's very challenging. Speaking of hosting, we were supposed to be in the studio tonight, but since it's Happy Columbus Day, our producer, our board operator, Tony, is working the White Post Farm circuit today. He is viewing his character Farmer Willie. You know, Tony does that Farmer Willie guy with the overalls over at White Post. If you ever go over there, you can see Tony. It's a real gas. He's really funny. So if you ever in the neighborhood of White Post Farm. So today was a special. I forgot that today was Columbus Day, or that everybody had off, all the kids. So you always notice that difference, right? When there's school, the streets are a little quieter, the stores are a little empty. Not today. I went into a store and I'm like, why is it I couldn't park? And I don't understand. It's only one day off. You have to do all of your shopping, everything in that 2-hour window. Like it was just a weekend. You couldn't go to this whatever. You know me, everything is annoying to me. But I'll tell you what's annoying to a child and probably the mother and father. Wrong bus stop. That's right. And I have been saying this for many moons. I don't know how people and kids get home from school. This kid didn't. So apparently, an East Meadow kindergartner. He was dropped off more than 2 miles away from his allotted stop. Adding to parent concerns about company drivers. So apparently, let's get deep into this. This looks messy right here. Let's see what happened here. So an East Meadow father said his 5-year-old son was left at the wrong bus stop on the first day of school. Well, it's only the first day. Give the bus driver a break. You just the kids don't know where they're supposed to get off. You just open the door and let the kids get out. I'm telling you, they get all over the poor bus driver. It says here, and he wandered alone which is the best way to wander. They call me the Wanderer. Before a motorist stopped to help him. Thank goodness. Seriously, thank goodness he wasn't kidnapped or hit by a car or something. The driver, let's go back to the bus driver. He is not working today, my friends. The Guardian Bus Company, which says the employee was removed from the route and disciplined. You're not just removed. We need to talk to you. You don't. We got to discipline you. Looks good for Newsday. And he's at a formal union hearing. A petition asked the state to address what parents allege is alarming disregard for safety. And so they want to get deep into this. But, look, one of these incidents is one too many, but you got to understand. I mean, I think the whole system, I don't know how it works anyway. I never know. I'm blown away that kids get home from school. I'm blown away that I ever got home from school all the way through 6th grade. I don't even know how I made it home. I was lucky to get home from high school, let alone kindergarten. Kindergartens don't know where they're going. And the bus driver, you're asking these guys to know what stops the kids are supposed to get. It lends too much to uncertainty. I mean, it works. It's worked for many years, right? The bus system has worked. That's what it does. But one of these was bound to happen. This is not good. Not good at all. What are you going to do? Wrong bus stop. Well, this is something I want to get into. So apparently, NPR, National Public Radio, you know them. We love them. They talk very monotone. Today we'll be talking about gluten and wheat. Wheat is very tasty, yet it's can cause internal bowel syndrome. So that's kind of how, giving you a little. I could not work for NPR. I'm too, they give it to you straight. But they had a podcast contest. And look at this. These kids won the podcast contest. Look how nice. Jericho and Oceanside schools. There's a podcast created by Jericho and Oceanside students. Were among 5 winners nationwide in the National Public Radio's Podcast Challenge. So some of these kids from Jericho were selected for their podcast, Will Erosion Cause the Montauk Lighthouse to Fall into the Ocean? Well, there's something positive. That's an uplifting podcast. I like that podcast. Those are kids after my own heart. Think pessimistic. Think worry. That's what I like. Will erosion cause the Montauk Lighthouse to fall into the ocean? Oh boy, that's a knee slapper. And then you have Samantha, Kai, Alexa, and Santiago of Oceanside Middle School. And they were selected for their podcast, The Quartering Act of 1765. That podcast discussed a law passed by the British Parliament that required the American colonies to provide housing and supplies for British soldiers. So these kids are really, they're thinking, they're giving you information, they're doing it probably in a really entertaining way for their audience. You see, this is why this show never gets anywhere, wins anything, or gets recognized. We are a show about nothing. We don't entertain. We don't inform. We don't do anything. All we do is start at 6:30 on time. That's all the show can boast about. And that's not even a guarantee. We're about nothing. I'm telling you other people's successes. The pumpkin guy. Or failures. The bus stop driver guy. They didn't even give the bus stop driver's name. I would have. Give him his name. Come on. Drop a kid off at the wrong bus stop. I think the parents will be driving that kid to school tomorrow. Anyway. This is, we're not, I need to revamp this whole show. And the first thing is to talk to Steve. I need a new co-host. You know who I need? I'll tell you who I need. I need this guy right here. I need Kermit. I can't do a show without Kermit. I was watching the Addams Family Marathon was on. You guys like the Addams? I mean, it's Halloween time, so AMC shows all the horror flicks. The original Addams Family movie. I was a big Addams Family, and this is the movie with Raul Julia, Angelica Houston. They were great as Gomez and Morticia Addams. And then a young Christina Ricci played Wednesday. She was so good. You could tell she was going to be a great actress. Then they had the Addams Family too, Addams Family Values. That wasn't so good. But, because, the original is always the best. And I was comparing and thinking about the Addams Family versus the Munsters, because very similar families that were monstery, darkish types that led a regular family life, but in a really strange way, right? The Munsters were monsters, but Herman went to work, took his lunch, but they lived in this, they were monsters. But they did ordinary day-to-day things. The kids went to school, but everything was monster-esque. And the same with the Addams Family. They did things, they lived their lives, but fun for them was like playing the kids would electrocute each other, or they were all about, Morticia's cutting the heads off roses, So that was the idea, living a normal life under these crazy circumstances as a family unit. So I was comparing them, and I was comparing, like, Lurch to Herman Munster, because they were the big, gawky, tall ones, even though Lurch wasn't the main character, but Herman was, and Fred Gwynne, we all know the great actor Fred Gwynne, was a wonderful actor. He played Herman Munster, also played the judge in My Cousin Vinny. Very good. But he was, Fred Gwynne was Herman Munster. Now, I like to compare. Lurch was played by this actor, Ted Cassidy. He was 6'9". He played Lurch, and he would say, "You rang, you rang." He had that low voice. And he also, here's a little, I like to give you factoids, which are little trivia facts. The hand thing in the Addams Family was also portrayed by, the hand used was Ted Cassidy, the one that played Lurch. They used his hand as well. So he was a multitask actor. He was able to use his hand as well. So just a little tidbit. I like to throw those in. And then who did you like better when you're talking about the wives? Did you like Carolyn Jones as Morticia? She was very good. Or did you like, who wouldn't love Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily Munster? Got to go with Yvonne DiCarlo, although Carolyn Jones was very good as Morticia. Both wives were cast excellent. Very good casting. But watching Addams Family, that movie was really good. Christopher Lloyd plays Uncle Fester, and he was great. The great Christopher Lloyd. Doc Brown, or Jim Ignatowski from Taxi. He's a great actor. So, did you hear this? Did I hear this? They are, am I wrong when I say this? Hold on a minute. They're upping, there it is. They're hiking ticket prices to $5. This is ridiculous. And I'm talking about, what am I talking about? Mega Millions. Mega Millions, which is usually $2, is now going to be a $5 ticket. Officials said they're confident players won't mind. They won't. They're confident. Everybody's always confident because they don't live in the real world. They're confident that changes that will lead to bigger, larger prizes and more frequent winners. I don't see that happening. So more people are going to win hundreds of millions of dollars because they're paying $3 more? No. Don't buy these tickets. This is a fraud. I'm telling you right now, do not spend $5 on a Mega Millions. They are supposed to be $2. That is the inherent game. It's not $5. What a ripoff. Are they kidding? Wow. It says Powerball officials said they have no plans to change their $2 price for most tickets. Mega Millions will introduce changes at a time when fewer people are buying tickets. and they need to reach ever higher. Fact, it doesn't make sense. This is ridiculous. Are you kidding? People can't. They're not getting enough. The jackpots of $500 million, $1 billion. How much do they want? Is that not enough? It's enough for me. I could live comfortably with $1 billion, even after taxes. That's ridiculous. Come on. That's not right. That's not right. Ooh, excuse me. I forgot one thing. Don't move. I'm back. Did you miss me? I forgot one article that I wanted to share with you. And I thought you would love this. Sorry, I had to get it. I got it. Whoa. Boy, I'm out of breath from just running to get the article. I just ran 10 miles this weekend. I was fine. Go figure. Kermit looks pretty good. So, this was a good feel story, and I wanted to change the narrative a little bit and just wanted to. So there was an 11-year-old girls' soccer game going on, and the girls were playing, and these two girls happened to collide with each other. So this concerned dad ran out onto the field, smacked the other girl with an open hand in the face, and got to the other girl who was his daughter. And he's now, it says here, his lawyer, because he was arrested, and here's his name was Stallone, which is always, he's marring the great name that Sly has spent a lifetime building up. This jerk has now marred it. Michael Stallone, 43. Hey, I was just looking out for my daughter, eh? Give her one of these. Was arrested around 2 p.m., September 28th, during a match for girls under 12 in Garden City, on charges of third-degree assault, endangerment, the welfare of a minor, and drug possession. He actually had a pill in his pocket. That's always good to take to a 12-year-old soccer game. You never know when a girl's going to need a Vicodin or a Percocet just to get through the game. You know, she's got a little knee problem. Hey, come here. You want a little perk? Yeah, a little Vicodin? How old are you? 9.5? We'll give you half now, half in the second half. We'll split it up because I'm a concerned dad. I'm a concerned dad. I'm only going to give you half of the Percocet now. I'll give you half of the Vicodin in the second half of the game. Go. Is she bothering you? You want me to smack her around? I'm a concerned dad. So that is according to the criminal complaint. But never fear. The ambulance-chasing defense attorney, Mark Gann, just Gann, there's no O at the end of this guy. He can't afford the O. He said there was no assault here. Nor was it Mr. Stallone's intention to get involved with or potentially hurt any child. And if you know Mike Stallone, like I know Mike Stallone, he's a pulpit to the community. He's a staple. He should be honored. They should be having a statue for this man. I don't understand why they're arresting my client. It says here, the lawyer says he was coming to the aid of a child who was knocked to the ground. He was just helping. Leave him alone. Gann said Stallone, who has two daughters, one who plays on the team and the other is in a witness protection program now, witnessed a violent collision between the two. Stallone, from the sideline, ran onto the field. Witnesses say they can hear the two girls collide. And it says Mr. Stallone was feet away, ran onto the field. And what did he do? It says here he hit the other girl with an open hand and elbow. I don't know how. So I guess he went like this and he gave her one of these. When for the 11-year-old hit. One and then two. take her out. If you didn't get her with the open hand, because he's 43-year-old man, you might not have knocked down the 10-year-old with an open hand, and you finish her off with the elbow. Whagash! The lawyer, I got to get this guy. This lawyer sounds good. What did he say? It says Gann said the total over the two. He said the lawyer Dan said he may have nudged her out of the way to get to the child to help. Just a little nudge. Bash! Bash! It's a little nudge. According to the criminal complaint, which identifies the injured girl as Stallone's daughter, the alleged victim, Stallone struck her in the face with an open hand. A parent from the other team yelled out, "He hit my daughter!" Gann said, but I don't think that's what happened. Nassau County Police arrested Stallone and found it was a single Oxycontin pill in an unmarked bottle in his pocket. Gann said, his lawyer, the pill was prescribed. Leave him alone. What are you bothering Stallone for? He's just trying to watch a soccer game high on Oxy. Why can't he enjoy it? And if he gets a little out there from the Oxycontin, he can't smack a couple of these girls around. They probably deserve it anyway. What's the problem? Stop coddling these kids. That's what I say. Good for you, Stallone. Stallone, a landscaper, there's a shocker. Not to disdain landscapers, they're very nice people. He's currently on disability due to a work injury. That's why he's taking the medication. Oxycontin for a landscaping injury? What did he take his arm off with a weed whacker? I mean, come on, what do you need Oxycontin? What kind of injury did this guy have that he needs Oxycontin? But he's still able to go to a soccer game. Come on. The Long Island Soccer Club, I didn't know there was one, said Thursday they have looked into the incident and temporarily banned Stallone. You're out of here, Stallone. There's an investigation, and yeah. Anyway, he ain't going to no soccer games in the near future, Stallone. He'll have to watch from the sidelines. Dad, stop beating up the other girls. Come on, Dad. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is also unbelievable. But I'll tell you in a minute. This is also unbelievable. I like to get to the health issues going on here. Is there a health issue? There was a health issue. Let's see. I wanted to talk a little bit about, hey, Al Pacino's doing well. Remember, he had a bad case of COVID. He's actually recouping very nicely. The Oscar winner says he was in serious condition, but he's doing better. And he's got his memoir coming out. He's got a book coming out. It's called Sonny Boy. Sonny Boy. And he is doing okay. How old is Al Pacino? 84 years old. Screen legend Al Pacino, 84 years old. His 29-year-old wife, who they just had a child with, thankfully was really happy that he pulled through. Okay. I'm sure she's like, ugh, I'm going to have to get that Stallone guy to take Al Pacino, if you know what I mean. She thought she was getting the old treasure chest. She was counting the minutes. You know, he doesn't look good. I think we should just pull the... Oh, he's okay? Thank goodness. Oh, thank God. I'm so happy he's okay. Sonny Boy. Bookstores now. The story of Al Pacino. You talking to me? Say hello to my little friend. Still one of the greatest lines in movie history. It's really good. Hey, you know, my nephew... I saw my nephew last week. And we are leaving the house last Thursday night. He's walking out of my sister's home, and he looks up and he says, the sky looks interesting colors, like a reddish hue. And I said, we all looked, and it was pretty amazing, pretty incredible. And apparently, we were not seeing things, we were not hallucinating, nor did we take any Oxycontin. What had happened was there was a geomagnetic storm Thursday that gave Long Islanders a rare chance to see the northern lights. And here it is. Look at that. really interesting. The sky did look just like that. And interesting, a geomagnetic storm. We get everything. I mean, the weather patterns have just gone absolutely chaos. Just chaos. We don't know what's going to happen next. It's very scary. It's very scary. Well, I'll tell you another thing. After a long study, and this is a interesting finding. By the way, it's 7 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? I know that most of the children today are riding up and down their bikes on Park Boulevard. So annoying. They just ride. They don't care. Right in front of your car. It's crazy. It says here. Wow. The amount legally wagered on sports in the U.S. in 2023, last year. This is the amount in U.S. dollars. This is not yen. This is not pounds. This is not whatever that, the Brezhnev. This is dollar bills. $120 billion. $120 billion is the amount legally wagered on sports in the U.S. in 2023. So what they're saying is serious gamblers can incur health costs too. If you bet on a sporting event lately, odds are you already know how radically sports gambling has changed. You don't have to go to Vegas or Atlantic City. You can just go on your phone, FanDuel, and you know the rest. Sports King, they all have it. But it says here that most adults are now having behavioral and incurring health problems. Much of the research on how health and gambling are linked involves people designated as problem gamblers. And so they did this association to see, with people that gamble, if they do incur health risks. Well, let me try to help you out here I haven't dug deep into the numbers, but let me give you an idea of some of the health risks associated with heavy-duty gambling. One, you borrow from a bookie and somebody's knocking on your door around 2 a.m. to break one of your limbs. That's not covered by U.S. healthcare. That's probably an associated link, is two guys named Stallone and Gann knocking on your door looking for the VIG. You gonna pay? You gonna play? You gonna pay? Huh? Or they're gonna snap the. We got to come back with something. Either we're gonna come back with some green, or we're gonna come back with your finger. What is it gonna be? And if you're that landscaper guy, you got a lot of Oxycontin, so you might as well give up a finger or something. That's probably why he's on disability. But that's terrible. So that's one health risk associated with heavy-duty gambling. Another is probably stress, right? If you've just bet the kids' college fund, you just refinanced for the 4th time in the week a home equity loan. You took out your 4th home equity loan. You can't even go to any more banks anymore. You're not at a bank. You're not even at a financial institution that's recognized by anything of the FDIC. You're now at a place that's on some kind of Queens Boulevard in between a massage parlor and a tarot card reader, and you've gone in where there's one girl chewing gum and there's a guy upstairs, and you've just now you've borrowed, and you've taken out a 4th mortgage on your home. You've refinanced for the 4th time by a guy named Tony over on 127th on Jamaica Boulevard at a nice cool 39% interest per day, doubling. So that, again, when you're watching the game, can cause a little agita, as they say in the Cosa Nostra, in the Italian word. Sure, so there's a health risk too. You can feel a little bit of angst, as I like to say. Angst is everybody causes me angst, or agita, or pushes my buttons. So, yeah, I could see a link. And I didn't do any research. I didn't need a study by Dr. Fong. But who am I? It says you don't sleep as well also. Sleep becomes a problem. You go to the ER more. You're less likely to have insurance, or you're less likely to do the healthcare stuff. You're not going to take care of yourself as much. You're not going to exercise or eat healthy foods. People with gambling problems also are more likely to smoke. chew tobacco, beat up 11-year-old girls at soccer games. And now with the invention of cannabis stores all over Long Island, that's now a new hobby as well. The United States has experienced a sports betting boom since 2018 when the Supreme Court said it was good. So, yes, this is ridiculous. Of course people are going to be more stressed with heavy-duty gambling. You're not betting. Nobody bets what they can afford to lose. What's the fun in that? You need some stake. As an actor, as an actor, you're always taught what's the stake in the scene? What is your moment? Right? What's the stake? What are the stakes in the scene? What is going to make this scene really dramatic? And betting, the kid's tuition fund is probably going to make the stakes high. And I'm not talking sirloin steaks either. For those of you eating dinner right now, enjoy. Hey, Kane Brown's coming to town. You know who Kane Brown is. My mom's a big Kane Brown fan because he looks like my nephew Jared. He's coming with the High Road Tour to Elmont in a few months. Oh, that's going to be fun. Maybe my mom will go. Maybe I'll tell my nephew to take my mom to the Kane Brown show. That is pretty cool. Yeah, they look a lot alike. He's going to be, that's coming up. But even more impressive, Mick Jagger. Speaking of Al Pacino being 84 years old, Mick Jagger is now having his 6th grandchild. His 32-year-old daughter on Thursday announced the birth of her child with skateboarder boyfriend. He was a skater boy, Cameron whatever Schwackel 24. Wow. So he's Mick Jagger. I don't know. It doesn't say how old Mick Jagger is, but he's got to be in about 80 in his young 80s as well, or something around that area code. So he's got his 6th grandchild. Good for Mick. Can't get no satisfaction. Very good for Mick. What do you think? You want to read we have time to read an Ask Eric? Want to do an Ask Eric? Want to do an Ask Eric? I'll do an Ask Eric. Oh, then I'll do something fun with you. Actually, I'm going to do something fun with you now. Let's do something fun. Because the show has not been fun up until now. I get this on my social media feed, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It's where sayings that we use today, where did they originate from? Where did they come from? These old crazy sayings. Let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to sit shotgun. Well, I'm here to tell you. I tell you everything. I'm here to tell you everything. I'll give you a couple while this pops up because I have a few more on here. But let's start with when you're driving with somebody and you say what? I got shotgun. You want to sit you want to sit in the front passenger seat, right? Well, where did that term come from? We say it now, right? It's said in movies and in American Pie, right? Kids always say it, college kids, I got shotgun. I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from the Wild Wild West. It comes from Wyatt Earp days. So when a carriage driver, a horse and buggy driver, would be driving in the horse and buggy, he would be a little worried that he would be robbed or attacked by gunmen, unlawmen, those ruffians. And so he needed someone to sit next to him, a security guard, if you will, that toted a shotgun. Hence, the term sitting shotgun was born. And it has lasted to this day. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible? It's incredible. Let's say you walked into a bar in the Old West and you said, I don't have a lot of cash on me. I just blew it all gambling. Because they were gambling all the time back in the Old West. And you ask the bartender, you say, can I exchange, you might exchange a bullet for a small drink. A bullet for a small drink. Hence the term, a shot of whiskey was born, because the drink was usually whiskey. And so hence the term, a shot of whiskey. You would give the bartender a bullet in exchange for a small drink. And now it's a shot of whiskey. Of course, you can get shots of anything, but that's where the term a shot came from. It's unbelievable. It's interesting. What else do I have for you? So, really back in the day, this is, I don't want to say medieval times, but it could be 1600s, something along there. In the, town market, they used to sell piglets, very big in the town market. It's still sold here at Stop and Shop. Little piglets. They were, I guess, for pork. But it was in a sealed bag. So, to get over on the customers, because we're always trying to get over. You think we're just getting over on customers now at stores? They've been doing this since the 1600s. They would exchange the piglet and put a cheaper version known as a cat. They'd throw a cat in there and tie it up and take it home, the final sale. So the smart customer, if you were smart back then, you'd say, open the bag and I want to verify my piglet. And you'd see a cat and you'd say, let the cat out of the bag. Hence, that would be the term when we say, let the cat out of the bag. Let something out of the bag. Oh, I let the cat out of the bag. It was kind of divulging something. That's the term that was used back then. You were found to be a scammer. Boy, these are really good. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Back in the day, they would have sporting events, and to start the sporting event, they would drop a hat. And that would signal for you to go. You remember, they did it in Greece, right? Or they dropped the handkerchief. But they would drop a hat, would start an event. So hence the term, at the drop of a hat. You're ready at the drop of a hat. That's where that term comes from. So there's a lot of good, I have maybe one or two more. Let me see, I'll give you a barking up the wrong tree was an interesting. Your barking up the wrong tree was back in the day from hunting dogs. When a hunting dog would be looking for their prey and maybe they went to the wrong tree because maybe they weren't as smart. Some dogs are smarter than others. They were barking. You're barking up the wrong tree. So you're wrong, basically. And that's what it means. You're following a false lead or misdirection. Let's see if there's something else that would be good. Bury the hatchet. You know what bury that. Let's bury the hatchet. Long ago, when the Puritans were fighting the Native Americans, it's always a nice, good Mayflower fight, the act of burying weapons was a sign of peace. So, but not always. Sometimes they bury the hatchet right into your spine. Whoosh! Like that dad. He buried the hatchet right into that 11-year-old girl's head. Whack! Do you remember the name of the 3 ships? Right? Christopher Columbus Day? Right? Do you know it? Do you know it? Do you know it? The Nina, the Pinta, the Margarita? No, that doesn't sound right. Wait, the Nina, the Pinta, not the Margarita. The Santa Maria, something like that. Come on. You think I don't know things? Look at this. You know I know things. I'll give you one more. I don't like. Oh, this is good. I like this one. You know the term, and this is perfect for me, fly off the handle. I am the epitome, the definition, I am the Wikipedia, I am the Google image of fly off the handle. That is me. I fly off the handle at the drop of a hat. So, it says here, that term was derived from when you were swinging an axe, and the axe head would fly off the handle. Hence, fly off the handle. Interesting. These are great. It's great. I like those. So, just a couple of those fun little idioms. I tell you, I was watching, I have a new favorite singer. I was watching a lot of these videos of the Ronettes and Ronnie Spector. Watch a video of Ronnie Spector. Man, does she have a voice that's different than anybody you've ever heard. She is terrific. I was watching a lot of her, and she was, her and her friends, they were like 16, 17 years old, from Spanish Harlem. they, like everybody else back in those days in the 60s, forming these doo-wop groups and things like that. You should listen to an interview with her. She was friends with the John Lennon, the Beatles. I mean, she was like out there, and then unfortunately who made the Ronettes and helped them get big and recognize their talents, and especially Ronnie's, was the madman himself, the murderous genius, Phil Spector, who married her, kept her prisoner in his mansion for 7 years. He wouldn't let her leave the house. Kept her, any food was brought to her. She was not allowed to watch, listen, music. She couldn't leave the house, couldn't go. They would bring her things. If she was stepped out of the house, she would be with a security guard. I don't understand. People like this, Ike Turner, these people should be put behind bars. And sooner, they just let these people get away with this stuff because of who they are. And then eventually, what does he do? He ends up murdering somebody. That's on Netflix right now. You have to watch that. I forget what it's under, but Phil Spector's, he's like, you hear the audio, and he's like screaming at the guy, "What's going on here? I come in, she's dead." It's an idiot. Yeah, he helped create some good music, but should that give you the green light to just ruin people's lives and go murder people? I don't think so. I don't think so. But that's just me. Hey, here's some good news. There was just a study on eggs. And if you're worried about eggs, if you're concerned about having eggs, they used to say, oh, the egg yolk, don't have the yolk. Well, the yolk's on them, because the yolk is fine. It's enriched with vitamin D, vitamin B12, protein. It's fine. It's the exception egg in you. The exceptional egg, it talks about, it can actually raise your HDL, which is your good cholesterol. It's really packed in nutrients. It just says here, before buying eggs, obviously make sure they're refrigerated and watch the date and things like that. Obviously, we're not living in the 1700s here. But enjoy. Go crazy with your eggs. They're excellent. Good to hear, because I enjoy eggs, and I'm an egg person. And, and it's Halloween time, and you know what we love to do with eggs at Halloween time? If somebody throws an egg at me or my car, I will stop at nothing. I'll find that guy Stallone. I'll have him in my car with me, and we'll go ransacking the neighborhood. I like this guy. This is a guy I could be friends with. I could fly off the handle with him. Talk about flying off the handle. That guy flies off the handle. He is a loose cannon. Again, there you go. I use expressions all the time. Right? I love expressions. Hey, Martin Short and Steve Martin will be performing at the Tillis Center. Let's see when that's happening. The Tillis Center. Yes, a lot of comedians. They will be at the Tillis Center. Doesn't say when. It does not say when. So, I guess you just go there and they'll be there. But, forget about him. Because you can go see, better than him. Wait, where is, you could see, where is he? Andrew Dice Clay. You can see Andrew Dice Clay at the Paramount. Back in December, he'll be at the Paramount. Jay Leno is going to be around town. I can't believe he's doing stand-up. He's going to be at the Westbury Music Fair November 8th, a day before my race. He'll be at the Westbury Music Fair, making people not laugh. Pete Coriel, you know Pete Coriel, he'll be at Governor's Comedy Club, but not ours. No, he will. Governor's Comedy Club, November 1st and 2nd, right in our backyard, right here. Oh, that's fun. He's good. He's actually very funny. I have seen him before. Jessica Curson will be in December. She's actually getting pretty popular. She'll be in Port Washington. And Anthony Rodea is going to be at the Paramount. He's always Anthony Rodea. Jackie the Joke Man. He's also going to be in the Belmore, in the Brokerage, this month. And Andrew Dice Clay is also doing another Paramount show on the 15th. So you got some comedy you'd like to do. So if you're tired of apple picking, you're tired of pumpkin picking, you can't wine taste anymore, you don't want to beat up any girls at a local soccer game, you've done everything you can, you've mortgaged the house, you've flown off the handle, you've buried the hatchet in someone's neck, you've done all of this, you've done everything I've told you to do. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy some good stand-up comedy with these comics. Jay Leno. I would say out of all the ones I just named, Pete Coriel is probably pretty funny. Pat McGann is very funny. He is really good. You should see him. Where is this guy going to be? He'll be at the Paramount November 9th, the day of my race. So I will not get to see him, but you should. That's my recommendation. He is very, very dry, very funny. He opened for Sebastian Maniscalco, actually. He's very good. He's an Irish comic. We won't hold that against him. He's very good. So he will be at the Paramount November 9th. That is my rec. That's my recommendation. I would say go see him. Go see him! And that's what I would say. Is this worth talking to you? I don't know if that's really anything I want to share with you. I mean, it's a quick story. All right, I'll give it to you fast. My wife and I are in our early 70s and live in a suburban neighborhood where every person has a dog, or so it seems. We're both in good health and can do our own stuff. I left the fence open one day, and a neighbor, and I noticed it was shut. A neighbor came by and shut it. Last week I set up the hose. It says here, to water a tree that has had some heat distress. You don't want your tree to have distress from a long, hot summer. And it says, a neighbor came by to shut the water. So basically what this couple is whining about is we're getting annoyed at what seems to be ageist assumptions that we cannot turn off our water, shut our gate. And they're annoyed and want to know if they should say something to their neighbors to leave them alone, that they can handle themselves. They don't need to be good-neighbored helped. I'm all for that. First of all, this whole neighborly thing, that's gone. Just what happened to the good old times where you just don't talk to anybody on your block? Let everybody do what they do, right? I do that all the time. It could be an inferno at the house next to me. I just pull right into the driveway, just like this. It's like, don't get involved. Only trouble happened. That guy tried to get involved. Now he's arrested. And he's got OxyContin in his pocket. Stallone. Tried to get involved, right? Thought he was doing a good thing. What can go wrong? I'm going to run on the field. I'm going to help my daughter and punch out the 11-year-old girl. What could happen? Nothing. Especially if I get a good Long Island defense attorney from Jehovah and Brothers, right? What could happen? I thought I left the pill bottle in my car. I usually only take them when I'm driving. I don't take them on the sidelines. What's wrong? Why are you picking on me? Anyway, we're going to close up shop now. I've done enough. I want you to have a good week. Go on my Instagram, Stephen R. Kaminsky. I'm going to post some dumbbell activity for you all. And I want you to have a great week. Let me know how everything goes this week. And look, it's getting dark and cold, so throw a hoodie on. And but it's going to get nicer. It's going to warm up, so don't fret. And I want you to send me think about one of those terms that you use. And now you can, sound important and smart at a cocktail party. Anyway, have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining in on the Steve Squad Show. We'll see you next Monday, 6:30 for myself, for the ever-present Kermit. Thank you. Have a great